Hey, welcome back to the channel, Army. If you're watching this video right now, that means you already know that something absolutely incredible is happening in Mexico. And the name that's literally everywhere is Jimin. That's right, you heard correctly. Among all 7 BTS members who are currently in Mexico City for their Arirang World Tour, only one name has truly exploded on Mexico's trending charts, and that name is Park Jimin. So in today's video, we are going to break down everything in full detail. From BTS's historic visit to Mexico's presidential palace, to the viral OT6 photo controversy that sent the entire internet into a frenzy, all the way to how Jimin became the only BTS member trending on Mexico's X, formerly known as Twitter. This isn't just about regular fandom energy. This is a genuine, full-blown cultural phenomenon. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and buckle up, because this video is going to be long, exciting, and packed with facts that will make you even prouder to be part of Army. Let's go? Alright, first things first, we need to understand the context here. Because to truly feel the weight of this moment, we need to know one crucial thing. The last time BTS set foot on Mexican soil was back in 2015. Yes, 9 years ago. Think about that for a second. Back then, BTS was still a rookie group fighting their way into the international market. Mexican Army already loved them deeply, but the fan base wasn't nearly the size it is today. And now, in 2026, BTS has returned, not as newcomers, but as the biggest music group on the entire planet. The Arirang World Tour 2026 is BTS's first tour after every single member completed their mandatory military service. This is the comeback that the entire global fandom has been waiting for with every fiber of their being. And Mexico was chosen as one of only 34 cities in the entire world to be included on the tour's lineup. Estadio GNP Seguros in Mexico City became the venue for 3 consecutive nights, May 7th, 9th, and 10th of 2026. And if you think those tickets were easy to get, all 3 shows sold out completely. More than 136,000 tickets were sold across those 3 nights alone. But what's even more staggering is the economic impact. The Mexico City Chamber of Commerce estimated that BTS's 3 concerts would generate an economic impact of approximately $107.5 million, which is equivalent to nearly 156 billion Korean won. That is not a small number, guys. That is real, tangible proof of just how massive BTS is as a global brand. And before the very first concert even kicked off, BTS had already created a historic moment that Mexican fans will never, ever forget. May 6th, 2026, local time. All 7 BTS members, RM, Jin, Suga, Jhope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, arrived at Palacio Nacional, the magnificent presidential palace sitting right at the heart of Mexico City. This was not a casual visit. This was an official invitation from President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo herself. The President of Mexico personally invited BTS, and the meeting lasted approximately 40 minutes, beginning around 4:50 in the afternoon local time. Following the meeting, the Mexican government honored BTS with the title of Distinguished Visitors and presented them with a commemorative plaque recognizing BTS's contribution to inspiring Mexican youth through music and to building a community grounded in respect, empathy, diversity, and peace. President Sheinbaum stated that the visit strengthened the bilateral relationship between Mexico and South Korea. She expressed, and this is the essence of what she said, that the music and values BTS carries have united Mexico and South Korea in a way that transcends language and borders. But do you know what happened right after that meeting? All 7 BTS members stepped out onto the balcony of Palacio Nacional, and below them, at the Plaza de la Constitución, better known as the Zocalo, more than 50,000 Army were already waiting. 50,000 fans. And here's what makes that even more extraordinary. This visit had only been announced by the president that very same morning during her daily press conference. Fans didn't have days to plan. They showed up spontaneously, carrying their light sticks, banners, and phones. Within just a few hours, the entire Zocalo was packed from end to end. RM, as the leader, was the first member to address the crowd, speaking in both English and Spanish, pouring out his gratitude for the incredibly warm welcome from Mexican fans. V spoke with deep emotion in Spanish, saying the words he clearly meant from the bottom of his heart. Amo muchísimo a mi Mexico. I love my Mexico so very, very much. Suga shared his own heartfelt message, expressing how deeply sorry he was that BTS couldn't come sooner, but declaring that now that they were back, Mexico would always be on every future tour. And Jimin? Jimin stood on that balcony, looking out at a sea of 50,000 screaming people below him. And this is the moment that made everything so beautifully personal. He opened up his Instagram stories and recorded the view of the Zocalo from his own perspective, his own eyes, and uploaded it with a short but deeply meaningful caption. Mexico, gracias heartsuit. Just 2 words. But those 2 words made millions of fans around the world feel the exact same overwhelming rush of emotion. Now, this is where things really started to blow up on the internet. After those historic moments on the balcony of Palacio Nacional, photos and videos from the visit began circulating widely across every social media platform. Completely understandable. This was a moment far too big not to share. But then, one particular photo started spreading at an absolutely breakneck speed. The photo showed V addressing the crowd from the balcony alongside the other BTS members. But wait, fans started counting. RM was there, Jimin was there, Suga was there, jhope was there, V was there, Jungkook was there. That's 6 people. Jimin was nowhere to be seen in the photo. And that is what lit the fuse on a chain reaction that exploded across global social media in minutes. The hashtag, "Where is Jimin?" immediately went viral. Fans were quick to point out that the photo only showed 6 members, and that this wasn't the first time Jimin seemed to have been cropped or excluded from official content. One fan comment that got retweeted thousands of times read, "Since you can still edit your post, could you please choose a picture with all 7 members? Why crop Jimin out of such an official post? He's also the only BTS member trending in Mexico, by the way. Whereas Jimin BTS is 7. And pay very close attention to that line. He's also the only BTS member trending in Mexico." Right there, in the middle of all the chaos surrounding the OT6 photo controversy, someone had pointed out something remarkable. Jimin was the only BTS member whose name was trending on Mexico's version of X at that moment. Not just because of the controversy surrounding the photo, but because Jimin's presence, influence, and popularity among Mexican fans is genuinely on a different level. The fact that he was being talked about the most, right in the middle of such a massive group moment, says everything you need to know about the unique kind of pull that Park Jimin has on people. Another fan summed it up perfectly. As always, they want to cover the sun with a finger. No matter how much they try, Jimin will always be the center of attention wherever he goes. And that wasn't just a biased fan being protective. That was a direct reflection of exactly what was playing out in real time on digital platforms across Mexico and the world. Let's dig deeper into this trending phenomenon, because it wasn't just a fleeting moment. This was a sustained wave of love and attention that made it crystal clear just how deeply Mexican fans connect with Jimin. On X in Mexico, at least 2 major hashtags exploded into the top trending spots. Welcome Jimin to Mexico and Bienvenido a Mexico Jimin. Both of them climbing to the very top of the local trending list. Not just making the list, sitting at the peak of it. And this wasn't only on the day of arrival. Even after the first concert on May 7th took place, Jimin remained the most talked about subject among Mexican fans online. Korean entertainment media reported widespread, explosive interest specifically in Jimin from local Mexican audiences, a level of attention that stood apart from even the general BTS buzz surrounding the entire tour. Then came the concert itself, at Estadio GNP Seguros, with more than 60,000 people filling every single seat of that massive stadium. Jimin stepped to the microphone and spoke to the crowd in words that instantly melted every heart in the building. Mexico, escuchen mucho nuestras canciones, verdad? Gracias de corazón. No sabía que aquí serían tan increíbles. Usted sí saben disfrutar, son los mejores. Nos vemos pasado mañana. Viva Mexico. Army, los amo más que a nadie. Which translates to, Mexico, you listen to our songs a lot, don't you? Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I didn't know that things here would be this incredible. You guys really know how to have a good time. You are the best. See you the day after tomorrow. Long live Mexico. Army, I love you more than anyone." When Jimin said those words, 60,000 people erupted. Picture the sound. Picture the energy. It's no wonder his name refused to leave the trending charts. Mexican fans who attended the concert reported that placards and signs featuring Jimin's face were spread throughout every section of the stadium. Local broadcasters extensively covered the passionate atmosphere of fans responding to Jimin. And Jimin responded to all of that love with his signature bright smile and gentle, heartfelt hand gestures that made fans feel seen and cherished. The question probably forming in your mind right now is, why Jimin specifically? Why not another member? Why is it that among 7 equally talented, equally charismatic BTS members, Jimin is the one who explodes the hardest in Mexico? There are several factors worth analyzing together. The first is deep emotional connection. Jimin is widely recognized as the most emotionally expressive performer in BTS when he's on stage. His performance style, which blends contemporary dance, intensely charged facial expressions, and a magnetic stage presence that's almost impossible to look away from, resonates powerfully with Latin culture, which deeply values passion, emotion, and artistic expression. Mexican fans don't just hear Jimin's music, they feel it in their bones. The second is his unwavering devotion to fans. Jimin has long been known within ARMY as one of the members who pours the most visible care and attention into his relationship with fans. Moments like uploading the Zocalo video from his own point of view on Instagram, or standing in front of 60,000 people and saying, "ARMY, I love you more than anyone." These don't read as scripted performances. Fans receive them as genuine expressions of love. And Latin fans, who are globally renowned for the warmth and loyalty they pour into the artists they love, return that energy tenfold. The third factor is his universal visual identity. In the age of social media, image matters enormously. Jimin, with his blonde hair and his beautifully blurred feminine masculine aesthetic, has become one of the most powerful visual icons in global pop culture. Korean entertainment media described him as the blonde prince who shook Mexico, and that isn't hyperbole. That's just what happened. The fourth factor is his organic magnetism. Jimin never seems forced into the spotlight. He doesn't always position himself at the front or center. And yet, somehow, the most memorable moments always seem to involve him. From the Zocalo video on Instagram stories to the Viva Mexico cry on stage, none of it feels calculated. It all happens naturally. And that authenticity is precisely what makes fans love him more and more with every passing day. The fifth and final factor is the power of an organized fandom. Mexican ARMY is one of the largest and most digitally active BTS fan bases in all of Latin America. They know how to move trending charts. They know how to organize streaming parties, coordinate hashtag campaigns, and make moments go viral. And for Mexican ARMY, Park Jimin is consistently the member they choose to spotlight and celebrate with the greatest intensity. Not because the other members aren't loved, they absolutely are, but because there is something in Jimin that makes them always want to give him just a little extra light. Let's talk about the first concert. May 7th, 2026. Estadio GNP Seguros. Over 60,000 people in attendance. ARMY had been gathering since early in the morning for VIP activities, to purchase official merchandise, and to secure the best possible spots inside the stadium. Outside the stadium, thousands of fans who hadn't managed to get tickets still showed up, creating a full-blown street festival atmosphere throughout the surrounding neighborhoods of Mexico City. The Ararang concert used a 360-degree stage format, meaning the audience completely surrounded the stage on all sides, creating an experience that felt far more intimate and immersive than a traditional concert setup. There was no bad side at this show. No matter where you were sitting, the feeling was that BTS was performing just for you. The setlist that night wove together classic BTS songs that have been the soundtrack to ARMY's lives for years, alongside newer material from the post-military service era. And then there were 2 surprise songs that weren't on the official set list. Moments that made fans absolutely lose their minds with joy. Boy in Love and So What. The atmosphere inside the stadium was described by media covering the event as a breathtaking combination of raw emotion, stunning visual spectacle, and an extraordinary warmth between the artists and their audience. Mexican media covered moments of BTS members wearing traditional sombrero vaquero cowboy hats, which sent fans into absolute hysterics with excitement and laughter. The stadium, lit up in a sea of purple from tens of thousands of ARMY light sticks, created a view that was nothing short of magical. Looking out from the stage, BTS could see a boundless ocean of violets stretching in every direction. And when BTS made their promise near the end of the concert, that Mexico would be on every future tour, it wasn't just an emotional statement. It was backed up by an announcement that President Sheinbaum herself had made that very same morning during her press conference. BTS would be returning to Mexico in 2027. She said, "Regresa BTS en el 2027 a Mexico. Ya les vamos a dar las fechas." BTS is coming back to Mexico in 2027. We'll announce the dates soon. There is truly only one word for that. Wow. BTS's visit to Mexico this time around has gone far beyond the boundaries of the entertainment industry. This has entered the realm of genuine cultural diplomacy and soft power. President Claudia Sheinbaum didn't invite BTS as a simple entertainment act. She invited them as representatives of South Korean cultural power that has touched the lives of millions of young Mexicans. The head of Mexico City's government, Clara Brugada, stated that opening the doors of Palacio Nacional to BTS meant giving space and recognition to the emotions and passions of an entire generation of young people. Sheinbaum herself framed the visit within the context of the Mexico-South Korea bilateral relationship, calling it living proof that music and shared values can unite two nations that might seem worlds apart. This isn't diplomatic small talk. This is the formal acknowledgement by a major world government that BTS carries real, positive social influence that reaches far beyond concert stages and streaming numbers. The commemorative plaque given to BTS specifically highlighted their contribution to inspiring Mexican youth through music and building a community based on respect, empathy, diversity, and peace. And in the middle of all this extraordinary recognition being showered on BTS as a group, once again, it was Jimin's name being mentioned the most, Jimin's name being tweeted the most, Jimin's name being searched the most. Not because he overshadows his members, but because the magnetic connection he has built with Mexican fans is so genuine and so strong that even in a moment this monumental, he still rises to the surface as the one they simply cannot stop talking about. The reaction from around the world has not stopped pouring in. Korean entertainment media, Latin American outlets, international publications, all of them have been covering this Jimin in Mexico phenomenon with the kind of attention usually reserved for truly landmark cultural moments. Global ARMY joined the celebration, flooding timelines with clips of Jimin on the Palacio Nacional balcony, Jimin on the GNP stage, Jimin in every small quiet moment caught by a camera somewhere in Mexico City. Jimin-related hashtags kept emerging across dozens of countries, each one a small signal of how far his impact radiates. But the single most meaningful thing to take away from all of this, from the presidential meeting to the concert stage to the viral controversies and the trending charts, is how Jimin responded to all of that attention. With his characteristic humility. With no ego, no posturing, no performance of gratitude. Just a simple phone screen pointed at a square full of 50,000 people who loved him, and two words typed out with a heart. Mexico, gracias heartsuit. And millions of fans typed their hearts right back at him. That is the essence of what Park, Jimin, and ARMY share. A genuine, borderless, language-defying exchange of love that no photo can be cropped from and no trending chart can fully contain. So there you have it, ARMY. The full story of why Jimin became the only BTS member trending in Mexico, and just how extraordinary every single piece of this series of events truly is. From the visit to the presidential palace, to 50,000 fans flooding the Zocalo, to the OT6 photo controversy that sent the internet spinning, to the historic first night at GNP Seguros. Everything circles back to one central miracle, an artist genuinely touching the hearts of fans on the other side of the world, cutting through every barrier and difference that exists between people. And Jimin did it in the simplest way possible, by showing up fully, loving sincerely, and saying two words that meant everything. Mexico, gracias heartsuit. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with a fellow ARMY. Drop a comment down below. What was your favorite moment from BTS's Mexico visit? I would love to read every single one. And of course, BTS is 7. Forever and always. Purple Heart. See you in the next one.